Welcome back to the Valley of the Old Farm, and fans of forestry will rejoice. People who don't like forestry will not watch this video and can come back next time when we'll be doing some real farming, which will be tomorrow probably. So yep, double Valley of the Old Farm videos this week. I'm playing about with the controls because this is the first time I've used this implement, I was going to say device, on PC, and I'm using it on keyboard as well. I did actually swap to controller a bit later on, but ended up using it on keyboard a fair bit. So I'm not sure if it's the lumberjack mod or the DLC that I've got active or what, but we get this nice marker telling us that we can actually cut down the tree, which is kind of cool. If you know which it is, then you could stick a comment below if you really want it, I guess. Yeah. Anywho, I'm a bit of a noob start getting going, but yeah. I think it's just saying that this tree is too big for me to cut down with this. This, unlike on Glenarthen, I've not modified this to be able to cut bigger trees. The plan was that I would just use the chainsaw if I wanted to cut bigger trees. I was planning to actually cut quite a lot down on here. I did a reasonable amount, but yeah. I was planning to have a bit of a rant today, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to give the people that were inspiring me to rant any more time. There we go, it's gone nice and green now. Any more time in my head than they've already had. So yes, we're not going to rant. Instead, I'm going to talk about how much I'm enjoying playing this save game and some just looking in here to see whether I can spot where this is coming from. And I can't, because I was actually going to turn it off because I wasn't a big fan of it. But anyway, yeah, I'm really enjoying playing this save game, but I have made some changes. So I was playing on 2-day months. I am switching it to 3-day months, but the plan is, and this is something that might come across more of the saves, I'm not sure. I'm going to be playing on ×10 speed, unless I get to the point where I've not quite finished something and it's going to be getting dark, and then I'll slow the time down. And you'll sort of see that maybe in the next video. Basically, everything feels like it's going too slowly, and I want to pick the pace up a little bit. And that's a way of doing that. I'm not going to, it's not going to be, it must be, but it's something that I want to try, just to try and make things progress a little bit quicker and make progress and not get, so I spoke about it, I think I spoke about it on here actually in the last video when I got the horses. Farm sim paralysis and not knowing what to do, and that's exacerbated by playing slowly, because if I don't have something to do and the game's running slowly, I still don't have something to do. So it's a change that I've made. It's a little bit like and how VF often played. I'm saying played because I haven't watched his stuff in a little while, but he always used to do ×10, and that makes a day, you know, like an hour, roughly an hour and a bit of real time, which makes it quicker to play for a day and produce a video if you're short of time, which I think is why he did it for a phase, because he was short of time in the real world. The reason I want to do it is to force the save to progress, because very rarely certainly on here am I that busy, but I tend to get stuck on leaving the game running slowly and then not knowing what to do. So yeah, I'm not going to, it's not going to be a fixed thing. So if we get so that I'm running out of time for something, I'll slow it down, because I'm not a big fan of playing in the dark. If you watch my expedition stuff, you'll have seen that. I used to do that on the Sandy Bay save that I did right at the start. I used to have a fixed, you play on ×5 and that's it. And you know, it would end up that I'd still be going at midnight and I'd be doing stuff in the dark, and it would not look great in my view. So not doing that, but equally going to try and run at a slightly faster pace to make progress. So mainly because there's not a huge amount to do. So as you'll see, the next video, I'm going to be doing a few contracts to get some cash in, and we're doing forestry to get cash in. So yeah, that's kind of that. And I'm doing forestry as well. And yeah, if you don't like forestry, it's been kind of a sucky week for you, because I did forestry on Glenarthen just to do something different in the game. I've spoken a lot lately about being a bit bored of farm sim. I said it. And doing some forestry is something a bit different. It's partly why Expeditions has come onto the channel, and replaced some farm sim videos. And yeah, that's doing this is a bit different. You'll have seen from the thumbnail, I use something completely different today that I've never used before. I think that's in this video. Yeah, and hey, it's actually this coming up is what inspired it. So I am using universal autoload as well, and I thought that I could just universal autoload the logs onto this trailer, but the logs that I've cut are too big for the load area. What am I doing? I'm getting a chainsaw because I have a chainsaw. And I guess it makes sense. If the logs are too big for the load area, they won't universal autoload. You know, it's kind of how autoload works. So the fact that I'd cut a bunch of 8-meter logs means they won't load on this trailer, which is not 8 meters long. It makes sense, you know. So, yeah. I think I end up cutting some smaller ones. But yeah, I still haven't installed the tractor that I'm thinking about as well. A nice electric tractor. I'm still pondering what to get, actually. There are some tractors in the sale. Because I've recorded the next video as well, and I still haven't done it. There are some different tractors in the sale that I'm thinking of getting. We'll see. There's a few other different things that might be happening soon in farm sim playing. So again, we will see. I got a log stuck as well. But yeah, it didn't. There was a lot of stuff getting stuck in this video. But I think a more modern tractor would be used, and that's why actually, although the case that I'm talking about is not a more modern tractor, it has a more modern drivetrain. So it will behave like a more modern tractor in that manner, because as much as I love these old things, it is a little bit clunky sometimes doing some of this stuff. So, I mean, a nice Valkyrie would be good with the reverse steer, because it would be perfect for this, because you want the implement over the rear axles for the weight, particularly once you pick the tree, but having reverse drive would be much better because it would be much easier. But we did a lot of vouchers on Attingham, so maybe you don't want to do that. The controls were also very twitchy. I think it was because I had the head pulled right in close to the tractor, and so the game couldn't work out how to move things. I think it behaved better and I pushed it slightly further away from the tractor. It's all a learning experience for me using this stuff. It actually, the one thing that I think was better, and you can see I am using it with a controller here. This actually seemed to be a better experience when I did it on console. I know, I said it again. So yeah, I'm cutting them smaller here to see if they will auto load. Yeah, I don't know, it seemed like a little better experience on console. That might just be because, you know, I was sat downstairs in the reclining armchair and using the controller down there is not brilliant. Just the ergonomics are not brilliant. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, so I think the 5 meters was still too long. I should go in actually. Hey, while we're here, I might not even have the mods installed on this computer. I do. Where are we? It's no, it's not in there. It's going to be in. I don't have. Do I? I must have universal auto load in. somewhere on this computer. Let's have a look. There we go. We'll go into the config. You actually can't see me do this, can you? But hey, that's okay. There we go. So the is log trailer. So yeah, 4.75. So that's why my 5 meter logs wouldn't load, because it can only do 4.75 meters. So, oh well. Live and learn, I guess. Live and learn. So I decided to just go on a bit of a monster cutting spree and work out how I was going to load them all afterwards, which is fine. You know, I was like, I could just lease a bigger. I did think that I would just lease a proper logging trailer or a forwarder, something like that, and do it that way. That was originally my plan. A proper piece of kit to do the job properly. And we do end up doing a proper job, as you'll have seen from the thumbnail. Yeah. So I went back to cutting 8 meter logs because I think 8 meters is a good length. I don't know what the optimal length is. I don't care, to be honest. Yeah. Same as I don't care about placing the little readout display, which is just there, hovering above the thing, because I forgot until just now. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Go on, you can do it. Yay. So I am finding, a lot like on Glenlarvan, that first we can almost tip over when we go in cab, which is what happened on Glenlarvan. But also, the trees get snagged up a lot. Now, I guess that's a reflection on real life, where trees get snagged on each other. It's like there. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. I almost feel like sometimes, particularly if you've got lumberjack mod on, where you can measure your log lengths quite easily. Maybe it's quicker to do it with a chainsaw, because you're not having to worry about driving your vehicle between and placing. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? And you can choose where you drop them. Obviously, you don't stack them up nicely, but I wonder if it would be more effective to use one of the logging winches and a chainsaw. And I almost thought about getting one of the yarders, because we've got a big hill here with trees. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I can subject people to a third logging video in such a short amount of time, fourth even, because this is the second one on here. But I am kind of curious if I would be quicker if I was just cutting trees down with a chainsaw and cutting them to length, and then dragging them out with the logging winch and a big tractor. That would be interesting to test. That would be. That's too big because it's not gone green. I am curious as to what's adding that in. Whether, there it goes. Whether that is the DLC or whether that's the a mod or not. I really don't know. And I couldn't be bothered to look at the time. So yeah. Basically, I said there wasn't much to do in the game. And so the reason I said about having it on times 10, the reason I don't have it on times at the moment is because I didn't think the number of days had changed from 2 to 3. They had. But yeah, I decided to lease this thing. It's 20 grand. It's really not good value for money. But never used it before. I didn't know how well it was going to work. I didn't know if it was going to work well at all. But I thought it might be fun. And I thought it looked cool. And it worked way better than I expected. And it's ridiculous. Yeah. And that's what I've got to say about it, really. It's, yeah. It's, the log physics in it are pretty good. I'll say that. They did end up using the tractor with the front loader on it a little bit to pile the logs. Sometimes I could just grab them with this, drive to the next one, put them down, and repeat that. But sometimes they would fall apart a little bit too much. And what this needs, and it sort of has it but not quite, is a better like dozer blade on the front, so that you could push logs with the front. You can sort of do it but not quite. Yeah. And maybe that's me not understanding how the vehicle works. I've just seen there are control groups, so maybe you can, I'm not sure. But the really cool thing is those. So once you've closed the jaws, the secondary set come down and grip what's in there. So it actually holds them really well. If you've used this thing, you probably know that. But if you haven't, yeah, it's way better than I thought. It's way better than I thought. And I didn't really watch anyone use it when the DLC released, because I wasn't that fussed in watching DLC content, because I completely wrote this DLC off, pretty much. And actually, it wasn't that bad, you know. It wasn't that bad. There's a surprising amount of forestry on this map, actually. In the next video, although I'm not doing forestry, end up driving through the forestry quite a lot. And yeah, it surprised me. It's a very diverse map, and I like that. I do like that. So you can see that it's just fine for driving around holding these massive piles of logs. And I guess the idea is that you can pick up big piles of logs, unload trains and lorries and stuff. This is where, and maybe I'm not, yeah, if you could push them better with the blade on the front, which you can't see me pointing out with my finger, maybe you can. I say maybe I was just not very good at using it yet. It would have been better. I did have one moment, I don't know if I got it on camera, where it went a bit nuts and it all kind of inverted. And yeah, it went inverted. But that was the only time it really went a bit crazy. And otherwise it was really... At this point, I am going to say, because normally I leave it to the end, thank you to the patrons and new channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You are all awesome, if you're still here. If you haven't got bored of watching me chop my wood. If you're interested in any of those, there are links below. Yeah, but I just say, one, we now need to recover the 20 grand we've spent leasing this silly thing. The chassis, I think, might be common with the wheel loader. And we have used the big wheel loader. I have used the big wheel loader. I used the big wheel loader on Attingham. I think we had the big wheel loader. We had one of the Volvo wheel loaders on Attingham for doing silage. And that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. And that was kind of cool, because that's like half of the cost of leasing this thing back already. So, yeah, we should at least make a little bit of profit. And if not, we've had some fun. Well, I had some fun. Hopefully you've had some fun watching me. And yeah. But I imagine if you're running a bigger logging operation, this thing pays for itself pretty quick, you know, in terms of loading up lorries full of logs. Because you can probably load them pretty quick. If you're cutting, you know, actually thinking, if I'd used this on Maple, cutting 12-meter logs and grabbing one of those full of 12-meter logs, I reckon like 2 of those would have filled the lorry we were using, maybe. And that would have been seriously quick, particularly with how I was dropping those in piles. That would have probably worked quite well. Yeah. But spoiler, there is no more logging on... Did I say Maypole? I meant Glenarthon. Anyway, there is no more logging on Glenarthon. That is a spoiler for next week's video. I haven't recorded it yet. I just know what I'm planning. I've done some prep work for it. So, and some maths. And the math says we don't do more logging. because base game productions be slow. But we'll talk about that in that video. So yeah, but you can see this lets you kind of drive around and grab logs as you go. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant bit of kit. Controlling it on keyboard was relatively easy as well. There wasn't a tree stump in the middle of this pile, it would have probably been even better. But yeah, you know, it's way easier than loading them up like one log at a time with a front loader. Yeah, the Liebherr that I had on Glenlargan had a log grab attachment that I'm guessing is a smaller scale version of this that I was tempted to try but didn't. Yeah, because I'd just done all of this and I I did some more logging on there over the weekend, but I just loaded it up the way I'd been loading it up because it worked. And change is bad, and I was feeling a bit flat over the weekend. Flat's the right word. I think the medication for my migraines was definitely, the side effects are definitely side effecty, and the headachy effects here, not very headachy effecty yet, so we'll see how we get on with that. Yeah, they're definitely affecting my mental state at the moment, which isn't great. It really is not great. So let's see how much we're going to get for these. So that's covered the leasing costs. So we're now neutral. I'm not sure how many more logs I've got cut down. And what we end up on, to be honest. I really don't remember. I only recorded this over the weekend, but I played a surprising amount of Farm Sim this weekend. Considering that some days I didn't play video games at all because I wasn't feeling mentally particularly great this weekend. And sometimes I just didn't feel like playing particular. So one of the reasons there's a double Valley this week is I didn't feel like playing on Saxthorpe or Glenlargan when it came to loading them up. And so I played a bit more Valley, the old farm, and yeah. One little thing I will touch on, the reason that there's an extra Let's Play is I did not feel like making a tutorial this week. Because of, this is where it goes wrong, this is where it goes nuts. Because of some of the comments I got on tutorials over the weekend. And as a result of that, there is a significantly longer list of people that are blocked from the channel, or however YouTube describes it. Yeah, so there's no tutorial this week because I can't be asked. So I did an extra Let's Play because they don't generate negativity normally. Yeah, that's where it went wrong. I don't know how it went wrong like that, but hey, it did. And it's not because it's a dodgy mod, because it's a Giants DLC piece of kit. But yeah, we need to push the trees around a little bit. I desperately need to get an extra weight. Trying to do stuff without a weight on the back of this, with the weight of the front loader and the log fork, is challenging, shall we say. Challenging. Basically, we end up with a front-wheel drive tractor. But I'm not sure what the right word is. But yeah, we need to buy another weight to put on the back of this tractor. Actually, we probably need a better loader tractor, if I'm honest. This tractor is not really suited for this job. Yeah. That's probably the reality. We probably need a better tractor for this job. Because that happens. Yeah. And maybe we can spend some of the money we're making over the next few videos on a more suitable tractor for that. Maybe it'll be the case. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. We'll see what's in the sales when we get around to it. Yeah, so this might actually be the last load of logs. So we might end up not having actually made that much money. But I entertained myself for a few hours. I've entertained you guys for maybe half an hour. So, yeah. That's kind of that, I guess. I could probably have kept shopping trees down for a fair bit longer, but doing commentary for much longer is kind of hard. And I have a feeling that I needed that thing called sleep as well, or food, one or the other. And yeah, as I say, didn't feel mentally the brightest over the weekend. So this is the first video that I'm finishing up after the holiday weekend, if I hadn't said that. Everything you've seen up to this point this week has been done before that. So that's why I'm talking about the weekend a bit in this video. And the next few weeks are a bit random, so bear with me if I'm able a bit, videos are able a bit. We've got a few things going on again in the real world, so time may be short. And I think that's the last big pile of logs. Did I pick these two up with the big loader, or did I just use the tractor? I think I just used the tractor, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be much more sensible. But I don't know what I fancy as a loader tractor. I did look at so in the sales is the forestry tractor that came with the DLC, and you can take most of the forestry stuff off it, and it's then a normal tractor. Never used that before. It's a bit different. It can have a loader on it, I think. But yeah, I might have to have a look. Oh, one's just jumped in my head, but I'm not going to mention it. Yeah, I bet we can't afford it. I might be able to actually after the next video. I haven't used it in 22. I have a cunning plan. Except I'm not sure it's a good front loader tractor. Oh, we'll have a look. But we definitely need a better loader tractor. Not a weight, we need a better loader tractor. And I still prefer a loader tractor over a telehandler or a wheel loader. I know. I am the way I am. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Comments, questions, or suggestions below. I will see you next time, and let's just see how much we make for this last pile of wood. 20 grand. See you.